Hello everyone, this is Josh Oakes, and welcome to this video which we will highlight 7 tips to developing a brand. I have Laurel Mintz on the phone with us today. Laurel, welcome.
Thank you so much, Josh. Happy to be here.
It's great to have you here. What do you do at Elevate My Brand?
Elevate My Brand is a vertical marketing agency, and what that means is we help brands from creation, so new baby brands that are just trying to come into the world, all the way up to globalization with a focus on social media, corporate sponsorship, events, PR and publicity, pretty much everything in that vertical so that you can reach your audience.
Fantastic. Well, I'm really excited to have you here today, and thank you, because you're going to share with us 7 tactical tips to developing a brand. Can you walk us through what you're going to share?
Absolutely. So these are my 7 tips to developing a brand. They're pretty self-explanatory, but really it's about action. So the first tip is really figuring out who you are. That really comes before developing the brand look and feel and the voice and all of that. Then we'll talk about how knowledge is power. This is a research model. Then we'll work on your logo and brand, the visual elements of branding. Decide where you want to go with that brand, so how you get from point A, where you are now, to point B or C. Calculate what it will cost you, because that is inevitably the question that we always get. And how to build a team to support you. And then finally, how to systemize the process so that you can continue to be successful in your cycles.
That's awesome. Walk us through step number 1.
All right. So step number 1 is figuring out who you are. So what we've seen out there in the market is that a lot of brands are spreading themselves very, very wide. And there has been a trend more recently towards developing a more niche-focused brand. So determining where you fall in that niche is really important. So, for example, we work with a lot of food, wine, and retail brands. So determining whether you're in the food category or the alcohol vertical or the retail vertical is kind of that first step to determining how you're going to define yourself as a brand. And then after that, we want you to dream big. This is a step we take all of our clients through. It's kind of a vision of what you would see the brand being in 1 to 5 years. And what we suggest you do is actually take 5 different pieces of paper and lie them out and put the next 5 years on the top of those pages, and then literally just brain dump. Use it kind of as a vision board process so that you can take a very honest snapshot of where you are in your company right now. How many clients do you have? What are your revenue streams? What does your team look like? And then where do you want to go or be in 5 years? And I suggest doing year 1 first, obviously, and then year 5 and kind of filling in the blanks accordingly. And in year 5, we have our clients dream huge. I mean, beyond any scope of what you possibly could think that you could reach. And it's a pretty exciting process. So I invite you all to go ahead and do that, and I think you'll be really inspired. Then after you dream big, the next step is kind of narrowing it back again and writing your vision and mission statements. And what these statements are really the who, what, where, when, why, and how of your brand. And these statements need to be really inspiring. And I'm sure that everyone on the call has an idea of their brand and kind of the niche market they're trying to go after and the why behind it. But these are really your passion statements. So figuring out what your bigger mission in life is for this brand. Because when you then talk to people who are potential partners or potential clients, you are conveying an inspiring message. And that is the beauty of building a brand with these kinds of steps, is just being so inspired that you're out there preaching the word of your brand and people are excited about it. I mean, what better brand out there than one that is exciting and alive? So that's what we help our clients develop. And after you vision and mission statement, you want to develop the voice and the energy of the company. So figuring out, are you a younger brand? Do you want to reach a larger, corporate client? Kind of figuring out what those adjectives, and that's actually a great tip, actually. We do kind of an adjective dump, so all of the adjectives that you want to associate your brand with, and that will help you determine the voice and the energy of your company. And on here you can also see the tactical tip. We encourage all of our clients to purchase whitey boards. I know it's a terrible name, but it really is a fantastic product. And what this is a whiteboard that you can write on and erase They have it in paint version, they have it in clear versions, and they have it in the typical whiteboard version. But it actually literally just sticks up on your wall. It's so cool, and it just gives you a perfect visual representation of all the things that you're working on. I have one that covers my entire wall of my office. It's a little frightening right now, but it's a great tool to have. So that's the figuring out who you are piece of building your brand.
I love it. Can you walk us through the next one?
Absolutely. So the next step is really talking about how knowledge is power. And I think that people fail in this step a lot because they get so excited about a brand that they just go out there and they try and do it. And they do it without determining whether they have a market yet. So we use a tool called First Research. It's a very inexpensive way to figure out the trends in your marketplace, how much money is being spent in your industry, and whether this is a good place for you to be. It's a very smart way for you to determine whether this is a good market for you or not. And it's actually pretty remarkable. You get a lot of great trends, concepts that you wouldn't otherwise have thought of, and it has a competitive comparison as well. So that's a really fantastic tool. It's, I believe, only $149. So I'm sure you've all been out there and seen those massive research reports that are in the thousands, if not $5,000, $10,000. This kind of gives you a pretty cursory view of the market, but it's a great place to start when you're building your brand. And it really does give you the power to determine what percentage of that market share you need in your brand, with your brand, to be successful. So that first piece is really the research. And then we want to make sure that you're seeing what's going on out there in the market with your competitors. Because hopefully you will all be doing what you do better than them. So we want you to go out there and find a minimum of 10 competitors and contact them, or have one of your team members contact them to see what their process is like. This is a very important tool because you can see how you can incorporate some of the processes if you like what they do, or you can figure out how you can do it better. Customer service is inevitably one of the big pieces that we hear is missing with a lot of these competitor brands. And the other piece is you don't need to reinvent the wheel, right? So if you have competitors out there that are in the space and have been doing it a long time, see what their process is like and mimic that. I think that's a really important tool for brands that are just building. And then I would say understanding your ideal customer in terms of their demographics and psychographics. And what that really means is we all know the demographic pieces, right? That's the basic breakdown, how much money they make, do they buy or rent, how many cars they have, all those kinds of pieces of information that are statistically really important in building a brand. But the psychographics are actually more valuable because they get you to drill down further into the core values of your target audience. Do they like to travel? Are they into wine? What other ancillary opportunities do you have to touch your core customer? And what we do at Elevate My Brand is we actually personify your ideal customer. And I would encourage all of you to try this as well. Give your customer a name, or if it's a family, give the family a name, and write a story about them. Really talk about what you think they would drive as a car, who they interact with on the weekends. Do they go out to eat a lot? Or do they listen to Pandora or Spotify? Really kind of personifying your ideal customer into a real person and giving that person a name. The evolution of how you can understand that client really is amazing. So I really encourage everyone on the call to do that. And then finally, and this is also another piece that's oftentimes missing when brands are building, because I think we're afraid of feedback initially because we see feedback as a potential negative, right? So I think that we need to switch our conversation around what feedback really is and request it, because what feedback does is gives you things that you can work on better, things that you can improve upon. We have a brand that we're working with right now as an example, and they just can't figure out how to convert. And that's a big conversation. That's a whole other package that you could put together. But so we asked them to go out and ask their customers why they didn't end up joining the platform. And in asking the question, you get an answer. It seems so simple, but it really is something that a lot of these brands are missing when they're building, because you peacock. You think this brand is fantastic that you built, and it very well might be, but there are always ways to improve it, and there are always going to be issues. And the best way to fix that is to actually ask your audience. That would be my knowledge is power piece. Very important.
So true. Walk us through developing our brand logo.
Sure. So after you've done all of your homework, which I highly encourage you do before you get into the fun part. I mean, I think this is all fun. I'm a sick and twisted person, and I absolutely love marketing, but most people find the fun part of marketing is developing the logo, right? The look and the feel of the brand. So we have a very detailed branding worksheet, and I'll give you some tips on this call. Really determining what color schemes you like, what color schemes you don't like. Go out there and find other brands and logos that reflect what you would like your brand to reflect.
I hope you're enjoying this video so far. This has been a preview of the Media Leaders Virtual Conference, where you can learn social media, PR, marketing, and sales. There's 20 plus tactical presentations to build your business. You can learn more about it at MediaLeaders.com or register using the link below this video, right below it. Maybe it's above it, but probably below. Now, this conference, you're probably asking, why should I even register? Well, don't buy a plane ticket, don't reserve a hotel room, or don't even leave the office, because we're bringing 24 of the best social media, PR, marketing, and sales professionals directly to you, and we call it the Media Leaders Virtual Conference. It's a little bit different. You can register at, like I mentioned, at MediaLeaders.com or use the link below this video. It's designed for small and mid-sized businesses that want online techniques and real-world business advice that's tactical. We're going to give you 7 tactical tips in less than 45 minutes from each one of our professionals, over 24 presenters, that you're going to get the chance to dive in deep into their subject matter. They're experts in their field, and they're the hardworking people that we admire and that we want to hire here at Media Leaders. You can watch the presentations on your schedule at any time as long as you want. Also, if you accept our bonus at the end, you get a free copy of my best-selling book, Light, Bright, and Polite. And as if that's not enough, you get a 100% money-back guarantee if you're not 100% satisfied. I hope you'll join us at the Media Leaders Virtual Conference. You can register at MediaLeaders.com or click the link below this video. I look forward to seeing you at the conference. Have a great day.